My name is DoccoBell and I make videos for every game that I platinum, and last time I almost lost my mind going for Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, but now it's finally time to do Monster Hunter Wilds. And I'll try to make this video spoiler free, so I'll probably only show the monsters which I know some people would consider as spoilers, but story wise I'm skipping those, so feel free to relax if you don't have the game yet. Now, compared to the previous two titles I did, this is by far the easiest Monster Hunter to get the plan on. If you were ever debating on whether you should try Monster Hunter out, this is the game to do so. With previous titles taking around 300 hours each, Wilds only took us 60 hours to do. And this is due to the fact that A, you can spot any gold crowns using your binoculars, and B, if you spot a gold crown in the wilds, you can save these crowns as investigations, and these investigations can be used 3 times to give away to anyone who wants it. This makes the very annoying RNG crown grind that plagued the older Monster Hunter games it becoming a very trivial task to do. Even without the method of saving the crowns, just knowing that the monster you're fighting is indeed a gold crown makes this the easiest game in the franchise. And I'm sure that there's going to be some Monster Hunter veterans that would frown on this, but if you enjoy the RNG for all the gold crowns, then congratulations, because you're about to be the first person to make that statement. With that said, if you've already played the previous titles, then you already know what the trophies are going to be like, since they are pretty much the same. Starting with the 8 trophies for the main story of the game. After making my character look like Sting's great ancestor, and checking out the game's new characters,
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go.
God damn!
We can get started.
Before starting the story, I did have to try out all the weapons again and see what new stuff they added to it. But honestly, it doesn't even matter what weapon you go for now, since the game introduced the wound and focus mechanic, and it just made the fights 10 times faster than it was before. But sometimes a little too fast.
I couldn't remember. I played too much Rise.
Mel, I'm so sorry. I was seeing red. I forgot it was a
Dog again?
Even the hunting horn has been blessed with buffs, which makes it even more of a blast to play. Same with the gunlance, where they definitely made it more fun to play with these new combos that absolutely put the numbers in. But out of all the weapons, the golden boy out of all of them is hands down the bow. This is because again of the new focus mode mechanic, in which this weapon just absolutely bullies every single monster in the entire game. I mean, just look at this, it's actually just insanely busted.
So I think if my server's in,
Yeah, it's unattainable. There's one of them.
oh, it's unattainable. Yeah.
But
So, Shido, you're kicked offline, buddy.
okay, I'll just leave.
You're not gonna fight it, bro? You can't join them, they're all offline.
But yeah, literally blasting through the story like it's cheese, because it might as well be cheese because of how easy it is. And surprisingly, the story is also written better this time around compared to the previous ones. I did, however, finally got carded near the end of the first half of my story run. Oh my god, I carded! Oh, I had my first card twice. Oh my god, he carded me twice, dog. But that was pretty much it. Yeah, okay, one more for funsies, I guess. No, I freaking had it locked, you bastard. But seriously, 3 cards for the whole story is still pretty wild. Since I don't consider myself relatively good at Monster Hunter by any means. Other than the main story, there are also side quests that you can do for NPCs that you find across the game. Mission, I'll try it again. Oh, another one, what the hell? I did need to finish 30 side quests in total for a trophy, but luckily none of it is really hard, like fighting Fatalis or Primo Malzeno, for example. But it's just a small little request like capturing a beetle and immediately reporting back to the quest giver, and you're pretty much done. Hunter never rests. Where's my trophy though? There you go. I was about to say, bro. Trophy. A good thing about this is that this trophy is also tied towards other trophies as well, like capturing rare endemic life, which is this one particular endemic life form that was a pain in the ass to catch. Another dub from Wilds is that you can rest and choose a certain time of day to make these rare spawns to show up so much faster. Unlike Iceborne, where I had to literally wait until it turned night, for Wilds I can just spend research points to choose my world settings. Unless a random ass Chupa Chups shows up and messes up your camp. So now you have to go send a message so they never do it again. But I eventually did find this rare endemic life, and now it was time for the hard part. And that's to literally catch this thing. I found it.
Bro,
Yeah, but
bro wishes it was smaller. Oh, you found it? Nice. Hopefully you catch it.
Yeah, if you want to hop in, Sloth, come in, bro.
Straight out, my house gets flooded by me and single books.
Does it despawn after a while?
Extra
Oh my
chili
god, it
jam,
freaking broke my ankles, bro.
Yeah,
You're like, what the fuck's chili jam?
Yeah,
And then you're
that
like,
thing
oh.
is ridiculous, Doc, with how quick it is.
Then I just started busting everywhere, bro.
Yeah, he's got a wound on his butt pouch.
Dick.
Yo,
Shit.
Yeah, you. Fuck.
Bad.
Okay, where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? Bitch!
Yeah, I was
Wait.
looking at
Run,
like some
run,
of the
run.
old UIs.
Got you, mother. Yeah. Sure.
Yesterday was a bad start. Hey, Trophy,
Bro.
that's a rarity thing?
No, yeah, that's one of the Endemic live, dude. That was
dude, that one's annoying.
that was kind of annoying. I'm
Did
not
you like
gonna
that
lie.
one? You had fun with that one or no? Like, stop, bro.
I think the only one that didn't really come as a side mission is this little crab thing that's holding an ancient wyvern coin. But at least they didn't really run away like they're on crack. A couple more trophies are tied into the side quests like fishing for the first time, in which the only way to get a fishing rod is by speaking to the fishing lady. The more side quests you finish for her, eventually she'll give you tons of baits, and one of them is what I used to catch a giant squid. Which you definitely need to have, since I did try to fish this thing with a normal bait and it just refuses to bite. So I shot it out of frustration. But trying to catch this thing definitely takes a lot of patience since it doesn't bite right away. Also, for some reason, every time I fish, this stupid bird always gets in the way, so you also need the patience to not make this thing into fried chicken, since your ride is like the best thing about the game. Oh, I got
You
it.
don't kill it. Make sure you don't kill it so Doc gets here.
This squid is also considered a Whopper, and I need to catch 30 Whoppers for a trophy, which is personally the most mind-numbing trophy in the entire game. Mainly because it's not as simple as throwing in the bait and having to do the minigame, but it's mostly due to the fact that they don't bite all the time. And when they do bite, there's also a chance of your line breaking at the last second.
That is not what I thought. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be fine.
Bro, what the fuck?
Yep, it.
I don't remember having a hard time fishing compared to World or Rise, but this definitely almost set me to the edge and made me hate sushi even more. Personally, this is the only one that really gave me any trouble, while the rest of the trophies come in naturally, like cooking a well-done steak, which has been in every Monster Hunter game since the beginning of time. What Wilds introduces, however, is cooking your own dish, since for some reason the cats don't do any cooking anymore, which is sad. But I'd be lying to myself if I told you guys that this isn't low-key my favorite feature for Wilds. Oh, look at the cheese. It's gonna melt. It's gonna melt on top of me. Oh, brother. That's so good. Munch on that thing, dude. Hell yeah. Like the older games, you can still set up camps around the map, but the game allows you to customize your pop-up camps, which honestly wasn't even that great. So after popping this trophy, that was pretty much the last time I customized a camp. You can also customize your sacred, and that feature I actually took my time making, since you'll see your sacred like 98% of the time anyway. A bunch of people might even say that the trophy for obtaining 10 different special items of rarity 6 might be the hardest trophy to get, and it actually wasn't that much of a headache compared to catching 30 Whoppers. I'm saying this because not only can you just keep spending research points to change the time and condition of the day, but you can also see the forecast of what will spawn next on your map. So I guess the only annoying thing about this is actually waiting for it to spawn, which can easily be sped up by going on hunts. With all the miscellaneous trophies covered, it's time for the combat related ones. Besides the typical mounting a monster for the first time trophy, there are a couple new additions to Wilds when it comes to fighting monsters, like actually hitting a sneak attack on a monster, which deals a pretty good amount of damage, might I add. Oh my god, trophy! Oh, the freaking bow and arrow has a... Yeah, the bow and arrow has a sneak attack thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, successfully landing 50 attacks on the wounds while in focus mode. And since I pretty much rocked the bow for the majority of the story, this one popped really early for me, since bow mains in this game are notorious for stealing every single wound spot of a monster. Speaking of stealing wounds, there is a trophy for completing a quest via multiplayer as well, and giving another player a follow, which I still don't know what it does and why it's here. Like World, where you had to trade hunter cards with a bunch of people, they actually made it easier in walls by just having us view 30 hunter profiles, which I kind of just lobby hopped and started stalking random players. I normally don't play with randoms, especially since I have the homies with me, but I was curious on what a random lobby would be like, so I joined a random quest post, which is also my side mission, so it was a win-win scenario in my case, where we kind of just gathered around a frenzied Kutku and started beating it up like it owed us money. Funny enough, the one time I joined a public lobby is when I popped my trophy for completing 100 quests in multiplayer. I don't really find the appeal in joining a random quest since it's no different than playing solo anyway, since you don't even interact with them or anything, which is why I only get on when the homies are on, and it just makes hunting hundreds of monsters so much more fun. But there is a trophy for completing 100 quests with your palico deployed, and your palico stays with you if you're rocking the game solo or finishing quests with one other homie. If there are 3 or more hunters in the hunt, then all the palicos disappear, which makes sense for balancing issues. So while everyone else was busy doing their own quests, I try to sneak off and hunt monsters on my own, and this also got me my first field survey, which I did end up hunting every single monster in the game eventually. Hey, trophy. Hunted many different large monsters. Cool. And I pretty much kept doing it until I finally reached 100 hunts with just myself and my cat. Oh, I got my palico one, let's go. But like I said, it's just not as fun to play the game completely solo since the game is made to be played with friends. I mean, who else would set down traps and bring trank bombs for you because you're a cheap asshole? Your cat? Yeah, that's what I thought. And who would give you your first investigation because you didn't know how investigations work in this game and you already have over 40 hours of playtime and you kind of just hoped it shows up randomly, but it never did, so now you're confused, but you were too shy to ask because you didn't want to sound like an idiot to everyone in the stream. Of course, the homies. But in all seriousness, having the squad hunt a bunch of tempered monsters... I got it! Oh my god, this was the last one, let's go!
Good job, good job.
And a bunch of Apex monsters with is personally the ideal way of playing Monster Hunter. Not to mention that it's the fastest way to forge 5 different high rank armors and weapons. I also ended up making a bunch of Artian weapons since these weapons are pretty much your endgame builds. And to make a rarity 8 Artian weapon, which is also a trophy, I needed to hunt a tempered Apex monster. We were fighting the Udra here, but I personally think that the strongest monster right now is tempered Arkfeld, mainly because this dude hits like a truck. Or tempered Gormagala. Personal preference, I guess, depending on what weapon you use, I suppose. Now that I've covered the majority of the trophies, the ones left is probably the most shocking outcome that Capcom has changed. And as I stated at the beginning of the video, yes, the infamous gold crowns that stopped a huge chunk of people from getting the plat for the previous Monster Hunter game. Firstly, you can now check if a monster is a crown or not, which is already so much better than having to size the monster just to hunt it for 20 or 30 minutes or so and ending up being a silver crown instead. If you thought that was already a huge improvement, Capcom doubled down on it and made us save any gold crowns we find in the wilds to be saved as investigations so we can give them to anyone who needs them. Literally nobody enjoys crown hunting, and I'm glad that Capcom finally caved and gave people what they want. I'm sure there's going to be some weirdos out there who's going to say that they enjoyed the crown hunt or something, or someone is going to go against that idea. Like, getting all the gold crowns isn't the flex, bro. Like, it's RNG. There's zero skill involved. It's literally just a time sinker. Like, if you think about it, imagine flexing that you just won the lottery. Like, yeah, good for you, bro. Like, let me borrow $20. And you know what? I was actually going to do it legitimately, but after a couple Vietnam flashbacks from World and Rise. Anyway, so about the saving of crowns, right? Yeah, a legend rolled in my server one day by the name of NPC. This dude stayed up for 48 hours straight. I'm not even kidding. 48 hours. Just to help everyone in the server to get all their crowns. This guy is an absolute beast. Like, literally, I don't think he's human. So yeah, I was one of the people he helped. Bro, I didn't even get to experience the crown hunting part because he pretty much just gave me the majority of my crowns. Bruce gave me the ones that he was missing, as well as Melaroni. She also gave me a couple crowns as well. And you know what? Call me a cheater, bro. But I already did my time with World and Iceborne and Rise and Sunbreak. That's like 300 hours of just sizing the monster over and over and over again. Like I said, it's not even, it doesn't even feel good to get the trophy for the gold crowns at some point. After getting all the gold crowns from the previous games, it doesn't even feel accomplishing or anything. I just felt like I just wasted hundreds of hours going for these. So you know what? Yeah, I did accept all of the freebie crowns. I did enjoy myself. Thank you. Anyway, I did end up hitting Hunter rank 100 while smacking up some gold crown monsters and eventually getting all the miniature and giant gold crowns. And with one trophy remaining, I just needed to have 1 million zennies, and that was the Monster Hunter Wilds Platinum Trophy. Let's go. That is wild.
Let's go.
Done.
Hell yeah.
Bro, that's
hell yeah.
wild.
It is very well. I know everyone, including myself, thinks that the game is the easiest one so far, but let's not forget that Master Rank isn't even out yet. Besides, a challenge is fine, but what's more important is having fun at the end of the day. If you want a legit challenge, just go back to work and grind out your full hours. But that's just too real for me. However, it doesn't mean that you can't still keep it real, because that's just boring. But yeah, I'm out, and I hope y'all have a phenomenal day. Roby!